Hello there, fellow knife nuts. Don Evans, or D-Watch Guy, as you know me on my Instagram channel. Going to do a video here on the Chaves American-made knives 228 Midtech version. I actually did another video. I recorded another video and then I watched it back and I didn't like it. And in the meantime, and I'll get to explain it here in a minute, but there was actually a lanyard pin in here that I have since taken out, and I'll explain that in a minute. If you're not familiar with Chaves knives or Chaves American-made knives, which I'm sure, you know, if you're watching this video, you probably are. If not, for whatever reason, Chaves Knives is owned by Ramon Chaves. He is the maker of the knives. And he does custom knives. The first folder, he does fixed blades as well. He started doing folders about a year and a half ago now. And the first folder was the Redencion. He did 10 prototypes and then went full-time into opening his books. His books are closed right now. He's still finishing off those custom versions. And in the meantime, he made a prototype of a smaller version of that knife because the original one was massive, and I mean massive. You know, over a 5-inch handle, 3.6-inch blade, you know, 5.5 millimeter thick blade on it and everything, and it weighed, I think, about like 11 ounces. The 228 is a smaller version. Now, the one you see in front of you is the Blade HQ exclusive. He did a couple for Blade HQ. And the differences with those from the ones you can get direct from Chaves American-made knives are the milled holes that you see in the handle, and there were also some anodized versions that they had as well. Unfortunately, at this point, they are all sold out, but you can probably pick them up on the secondary market. Now, these run $450 from Chaves American-made knives. I believe these were $465 direct from Blade HQ. Again, these are sold out, but if you're interested in one, they're $450. He's still taking orders from them, for them, $50 deposit, and I can't tell you when exactly you're going to get the knife. Could be about a month and a half, depending on where he is fulfilling the original orders. So it's a scaled down version of the custom Redencion. It is a 3.25-inch blade, and I want to say, yeah, it should be just like 4.5-inch handle. I think the whole thing is 8.25 overall. Thick, solid milled, or thick, solid machined slabs of titanium. Still a very, very thick blade. This is his newer style grind with the kind of Spanto style tip on it here. Dual thumb studs. Of course, you got the Chaves skull pocket clip. Just basically the coolest clip in my opinion. Of course, I'm biased. I'm a big, you know, skull guy here, but the coolest skull clip out, or clip period out there in my opinion. You know, one of the things makers are doing these days is, you know, everybody's starting to do the 3D titanium clips, the milled clips, instead of, you know, just your standard spring clips and everything. And some of them are, you know, doing some amazing, very cool, you know, looking clips. Nobody has a clip like this. Not only is it badass when it's in your pocket, the retention on it is great. It's super thick and, you know, just badass all around. Here you can see the top part of it where it's kind of like hammered out on the top, which is pretty cool. Now, if you never had the full-size Redencion and you're not sure the differences, so here's the difference. The full-size, like I said, is much, much, much bigger and much thicker. Now, don't let that fool you. For me, and I only say this for me because I had the custom version, which I found just too big for everyday carry. This is still a very large knife. It's 7.4 ounces. It's still thick. It's still heavy. For me, it seems a little on the small side, only because of comparing it to the original. But I think this is absolutely perfect, and I love it. It's thick, it's beefy, it's solid, but it's, you know, in a more comfortable size for what I like to carry. The other differences are, now this is on bearings. The original ones were on, the original custom versions were on washers. They are now on bearings, which I believe he uses, they're a steel caged bearing, which I believe he is doing on the customs now as well. And instead of a backspacer, you get standoffs. Okay, now, as I said at the beginning of the video, and you could see the hole in here from where I took it out on both sides, there is a a lanyard pin. Now, I've had this for, I don't know, a couple of days now, and as I was carrying it and playing with it and doing whatever, I noticed at certain points I'd be holding it and flipping it, and there was something loose. It was something rattling. And, you know, at first I thought, oh, great, it's a bearing or something, you know, whatever, a washer or whatever. And then as I'm rattling it and I'm playing with it, I realized the sound wasn't coming from up here. The sound was coming from down here. So I want to give a shout out to Terra Fanatic, because he had a prototype of one of these and he took it apart on video. Now, I'm not, you know, I don't like taking the knives apart if I don't have to. I'm not one of those guys that can take apart and reassemble them. That's why I buy these things and let other people make them for me. But, you know, I watched this video, and of course, you know, it was very simple to take this apart. So, and I just needed to take off the top handle. So I unscrewed these with the Torx screw, took it off, and the pin, I don't know if the lanyard pin, you know, if it missed getting some Loctite maybe, or it was just pressure fit in there and it wasn't done properly. But it was just like, it just came right out. As soon as I unscrewed everything, it just came right. I was able to pull it out. And I was going to Loctite it. And then I realized I just preferred the look without that extra pin there anyway. I don't use lanyards. And so I just took it out. And now you just see the standoffs. So, and I'm sure if I had contacted Ramon, he could have done something, or would have said, send it back and I'll take care of it. But again, it's not a big deal for me. I saved it. So, you know, it's there, I guess, if I was to need it, but I don't. So let me show you the action on this, which is just fantastic. You can see I've been using and carrying this. Got some scratches on it and everything. But here is the action on this. It is super fantastic. Okay, let's see if you can hear the detent here. Now let me see if I can move the camera back here a little bit. And see if we can get some, you can see how smooth this is. Just flies right out. There's, you know, like I said, it's on caged steel bearings. And then there's a washer on each side here where it hits the metal, or where it hits the titanium, so that the bearings are not riding right on the titanium. There is a washer in there as well in between them. It is ridiculously smooth. It's great to play with. It's big, it's beefy. S35V in steel, if I already didn't mention it. So if, you know, if you always like the custom, but of course you can't get on the books because they're closed currently, or, you know, you always like the Redencion, but you were like, you know what, that is just way too big and bulky for me, you know, well then here you go. These are, apparently I'm bleeding while on camera here, and I just got blood on my knife, so that's always great. But you know what? It's a knife, and I'm talking about, it's a knife video. I'm going to leave the blood in there because what the hell. But anyways, if you are always looking for one or couldn't get on the books, or the size was just way too big for you, maybe check these out. 450 bucks, straight from Chaves American-made knives. This is built every good. This is built just as good to me in every way as the full custom is. Honestly, it's really difficult to tell the difference. And I had one of the original customs, and which was still on washers and needed a break-in period. So this is, you know, now being on bearings, just so much smoother. And these are the only way you can get them, you know, the all stone washed. But you know, modder's dream here if you want to send it out to a mod, you know, or a knife pimper, and you know, have them, you know, do some fun stuff with that backspacer, or you know, bronze the pocket clip or the scales, or you know, whatever. Sky's the limit. So there's a look at the Chaves American-made knives 228 Midtech. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.